Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, before I begin with this lesson, I want to start it off by giving all the glory and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, or Kahakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of that millstone. Peace and blessings be to all the Akim now pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Shalom, and Yahweh Shema Shah Brakathon. Alright, so what I'm going to get into is, dealing with those great birth pains. And I'm pretty sure, brothers and heard me, mention those great birth pains, hella times. But shit, this is where we at when it comes to prophecy. Any day you wake up, all you got to do is check the news and, you're going to be hearing the same things being talked about over and over and over, which is a sign that, hey, the Lord is getting ready to bring these things to pass. World War III is damn near talked about every day. You know what I mean? I was just on, I was on RT News, and I was also on Natural News and shit. Iran talking about, they now have the capability to create nuclear missiles. And what Joe Biden wants to do is he basically wants to prevent that from happening, which is all this shit is going to escalate into a third world war. Dealing with the whole, the tension between Russia and Ukraine, the gas supply, all these things is going to escalate to the third world war. Like, the pestilences, they talking about the monkeypoxes and shit. Bill Gates just announced, I think like last week or some shit, I heard brothers mentioning on how there's going to be another pandemic. But this time it's going to get your attention, right? Then on top of that, the famine is being talked about every damn day. You can literally do a lesson on the famine every day because that's how much it's being talked about. And like I mentioned, these are signs, letting us know and indicating that the Lord's getting ready to bring these things to pass because they being talked about a lot more, more so than ever, man. Primarily through the mouth of the prophets, because the Lord said in Isaiah 42:9, new things do I declare, and before they spring forth, I tell you of them. And those new things that Yahweh Shema Shah declares are these future prophecies. The MOT to the B, being mandated. That's a prophecy itself. That's about to be fulfilled, in the near future. Could be this year. All they got to do is say that we can't deal with the money no more because of such and such, it's so contagious, and, now we have to, give you this thing. You know what I mean? Revelations 2:10, that's an example, of a new thing that Yahweh Shema Shah declares. Us being cast into prison. And I ain't talking about in a penitentiary or in a damn county. I'm talking about in detention, FEMA internment camps. You know what I mean? But as y'all see in the title, it says war, pestilence, famine, set to grip the final months of 2022, right? The final months, because right now we approaching, those last 6 months of the year 2022, and shit, in the first 6 months itself has been shit has been something, you know what I mean? And that's why, the Spirit was an apostle heart to deem this year, the year of Yahweh Shah turning things up, because that's exactly what's happened, man. You know what I mean? It's so much happening. It's damn near impossible to keep up with. You know what I mean? Brothers be going extra hard through the Spirit, concerning these prophecies. Because, we in those times, man. Right? And all these are just the beginning of sorrows, because as we just read in the title, it says, war, pestilence, and famine set to grip the final months of 2022. In other words, these things are going to continue to escalate. And that's how Yahweh Shema Shah makes these things happen, because even though the Lord can make it, this shit pop off now. You know what I mean? The Lord deals with gradualism. He going to have certain things leading up to, that grand finale. All right? But it says, enjoy this summer while you can, because global events will soon escalate to an even more alarming level. This shit is going to get a lot more worse than what most people think, because most people think that it's going to bounce back. The brother that I be teaching with, I ain't really looked too much into it, so, Salaki, but he was telling me how, like, the gas prices are supposed to go down a little bit, and the whole reason on why that is the case is not because of, they just getting cheaper, but because they pumping out, more money into the economy, to the American economy, which is all going to lead to the crash of the dollar, because that shit devalues it, man. All right. And that itself is going to bring a prophecy to pass, man. You know what I mean? That this shit is a domino effect. It says, needless to say, if 2022 ended right now, it would be remembered for a lot of really bad things. Big facts. You know what I'm saying? But this next upcoming year, you know what I'm saying? Lord willing, 2023 is the last year. That shit is going to be worse than what 2022 was. You know what I mean? More than likely, going to make 2022 look like a walk in the park in Adam Ratazat, man. You know what I'm saying? And we can see, because we got the spiritual eyes to see and the spiritual ears to hear, that this shit is getting ready to go down because we standing upon our watch like the Heavenly Father told us to do, man. All right? This is why we get in our house in order. This is why we doing what we need to do, because this shit is up the block. You know what I mean? All it takes is one major event to happen, you know what I'm saying, on one day, and this shit can turn everything around, man. All right, it says prior to this year, we didn't have a war in Ukraine. Nobody. Salaki, I got a call, so it cut the screen record off. All right, but going back to the article, it says prior to this year, we didn't have a war in Ukraine. Nobody was talking about impact. Inflation was a relatively minor concern, that's gonna get worse too. You know what I mean? I say this in down to every one of my lessons. Right now we just dealing with inflation. But soon it's gonna be hyperinflation. And if you don't know what hyperinflation is, it's basically gonna look or make, inflation like a walk in the park. They're already talking about how we enter into a recession. This shit is getting ready to be, far more worse than the Great Depression, which took place in like the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. And these Americans was going through it at that time, right? Living in shacks and shit, just dirt poor. That's what's getting ready to come back. You know what I mean? And this is why you gonna have to need the Lord in these coming times that we coming into, man. You know what I mean? Because America, as you know it, this shit is circling the drain, man. Right? For the worst too. All right, it says food riots weren't erupting in poor countries, and we weren't facing the prospect of a very painful recession. So much has happened in the last 6 months, but I have a feeling that the next 6 months are going to be even crazier. And I don't want to die, man. But it said there's no choice. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no, any way, or Salaki. The only thing is, left for for the last 6 months is for this shit to get worse. That's basically what I'm trying to say, man. All right, because dealing with, with the title of this lesson, those great birth pains, man. And contractions, they don't just ease up. Contractions lead to a whole other, task, man, that you're going to have to take on. All right? It says, how could that be possible? Well, how about another major war? On Thursday, Yair Lapid and Joe Biden signed a joint pledge that expressed their shared intentions to do whatever is necessary to keep Iran from getting nuclear weapons. And there ain't nothing that you can do. You know what I mean? Because that's all the will of Yahweh Shemal Shah as well. Right? The Lord is going to have, all these nations, getting their hands on nuclear weapons. And even possible, the possibility of even, creating them just to fulfill his will, which is, to blow this mug up. All right? It says during a joint appearance following the singing, Biden made the position of the U.S. government very clear. All right? And, I'll place the link, to this article, in the description, Lord willing, so y'all can read the rest on your own. But, that's pretty much the point, man. These things are going to, continue to get a lot more worse. Food riots, that ain't shit compared to, really how it's going to get out here. A lot of people really finna get desperate. You know what I mean? These movies that you see, that's all going to become a reality, man. You know what I'm saying? But only time will tell. All right, but the first scripture I'm going to grab real quick is the book of 2 Ezra 16 and 37. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 36. It says, behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. And we can see that. You know what I mean? So much to the point where it's not just us seeing it, but you got, a lot of other people seeing it too. This is why you got, more doomsday preppers than there's ever been. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord is making these things be known. All right? You can't ignore this shit. You know what I mean? Because anywhere and everywhere you go, you're going to see something, you know what I'm saying, prophetic happening. You know what I'm saying? You turn on the news and guess what? The word of the Lord is there, showing you these prophecies. You know what I'm saying? You get on social media, shit, you going to see, these prophecies happening somehow, some way. So you can't run from it, man. Right? Because these prophecies are not slack, man. It says, and when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her great birth pains come past her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. You know what I'm saying? Because once it's time for a woman to, you know what I'm saying, to give birth, ain't nothing she can do about it but to damn push that baby out. All right? Because that's just how that works. And it's the same thing with these prophecies, man. All right? Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it every side, showing you that this shit is only going to get a lot more worse, man. Because the Lord said, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. All right? So it's also grabbed the 18th verse, and I'm going to just go ahead and close it out. Something just real quick. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? And, we got camp today, so, I'm going to be touching on, this particular topic. But what we going to do as hopeful members of the elect is we going to trust in the Lord, because the Lord said that's all that we got to do. You know what I'm saying? We have, testimonies of what our forefathers went through. And every time they trusted in the Lord, the Lord came through for them. You know what I mean? But all these evils is getting ready to come. You know what I mean? America is getting ready to take a turn for the worse, man. You know what I'm saying? But, with that being said, I ain't trying to beat a dead horse. The point's pretty much proven. I don't run to side the point's proven that the less was edifying. All right, call you how about Shema Shah, about Shema Kagadas, Shalom, and a Bible Ball.